It is time now for today's Strawberry Letter. And if you need advice on relationships, dating, work, sex, parenting, and more, please submit your Strawberry Letter to steveharveyfm.com and click Submit Strawberry Letter. We could be reading your letter live on the air, just like we're going to read this one right here, right now. And you never know, it could be yours.
It could be yours. Buckle up and hold on tight. We got it for you. Here it is, the Strawberry Letter.
Thank you, nephew. Subject, what's going on next door? Dear Steve and Shirley, I've been married for the past 22 years, and I love that my wife is very sheltered. She's not on any social media sites, and she doesn't like to party. I was afraid to move her to the city, but she said she was ready for a change. We sold our home and bought a condo in a very popular section of Atlanta. Months after we moved in, we got a new neighbor. She's only 30, and she has 2 small kids. My wife immediately thought that the kids would be making noise and running around all the time. But to our surprise, we hear the woman more than we hear her kids, if you know what I mean. My wife and I saw men in the hallway and on the elevator, and it took weeks for my wife to figure out what's going on next door. I was hoping that she never figured out that the neighbor is a, quote, working woman, but she did, and now I have a big problem because I have been next door. I saw firsthand what all of the racket was about. I swear I didn't mean for it to go down like it did. I am 28 years older than that young woman, and I feel terrible. I never should have followed her inside when she asked me to take a look at her garbage disposal. I'm not even a handyman type of guy, but I showed her how to reset it. Then we started talking, and one thing led to another, and we ended up on the floor. The only blessing is that I didn't have to pay for what I got. That happened a week ago, and I decided that this woman needs to move. The last thing I need is her telling my wife that I was in her home. I'm thinking about telling the homeowners association that she's a call girl and has strange men in our building. I'm assuming that will get her kicked out. Would it be too low down, or should I go for it? Are you crazy? Really, are you crazy? You haven't thought this thing through at all. What do you think's going to happen when your neighbor finds out that you went and told the HOA that she's a call girl? And she's going to find out. And she will tell your wife. But I think you better hope that your wife doesn't find out, because you know this is all your fault, right? You had no business going into that woman's house. You already knew what it was. You risked everything anyway. Now you're trying to blame the neighbor who is just doing what she does. That's what she does. The only thing I can say is that you're not the first one or the only one who's ever done something this stupid, but this was really, really close to home. You said that you've decided this woman needs to move. I think your best bet is not to get her out of the condo, but you guys should move, because you're way more at fault than the neighbor for obvious reasons. Steve?
I don't know what's happening with men anymore. You know, we really used to be smarter than this. It's starting to be where I'm shamed now. It's really getting to that part of it.
Should be.
Yeah, because I'm like, dog, what? It's not making any sense. I've been married for the past 22 years. That's crazy. And I love that my wife is sheltered. She ain't on social media, and she don't like to party. So you was afraid to move her to the city, but then she told you she was ready for a change. So y'all sat up here and bought a condo in a very popular section of Atlanta. They down at the 12.
Atlantic Station.
They down there at the 12. I know exactly where he moved in. I mean, and it's popular down there. Woo! It's popular at the 12. Months after we moved in, we got a new neighbor. See, there's a high turnover down there, too. That's how I know it's the 12. She's only 30, and she got small kids, and your wife thought that the kids would be making noise and running around all the time. But to our surprise, we hear the woman more than we hear the kids, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. My wife and I saw men in the hallway and on the elevator, and it took weeks for my wife to figure out what's going on next door. I was hoping she never figured out that the neighbor was a working woman, but she did. And now I got a big problem because I've been next door. God, dog. God, dog. See, boy, let me tell you something. I've been married 22 years. You've been watching these men go in and out this room on this elevator, and now you done been over there.
Wow. What can you say to that? I want to hear.
I just, dog, why are you next door? Dog. Come on, man. Dog. Next door? I saw firsthand what all the racket was about. Now here go the. I swear I didn't mean for it to go down like it did. Ooh, I can't stand stupid men. I am 28 years older than the young woman, and I feel terrible. She 30, you 58. I should have never followed her inside. Followed her inside. Dog, you thought, you know how stupid. I should have never followed her inside when she asked me to look at her garbage disposal. What is you in there looking at garbage disposal for? You ain't in maintenance. You stay next door. You've been married 22 years. Man, I hate this letter. I hate this letter.
Hang on.
I hate this letter. I hate this dude.
We'll have part 2 of your response coming up at 23 minutes after the hour.
Why is you next door?
Today's Strawberry Letter subject, what is going on next door? We'll get back into it right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Hey everyone, quick health question. Even though you're still thriving, still loving, still connecting, did you know your immune system weakens with age? That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off certain respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. This fall, ask your doctor which vaccines you need and visit vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com to schedule one or more vaccines. Sponsored by Pfizer. All right, come on, Steve. Let's recap today's Strawberry Letter. The subject, what's going on next door?
This man been married 22 years to a wife who is not a social butterfly, ain't on social media, nothing. Then y'all decided y'all want to move into the city. You was afraid to move her, but she said she was ready for a change. Y'all moved into a very popular and populated condo in downtown Atlanta. I'm guessing it was the 12. That's where I think they moved into. And then after they was only there for a couple of weeks, a new neighbor moved in. That's how I know it's the 12, because they got high turnover.
High turnover.
Because, you know, some of them boys, they money dry up, you know, or they get hit, you know, that game they in, they money can be good 1 month and then, you know, they get bumped off their spot and they got to go somewhere else. And, you know, that ain't regular money. And then sometimes, you know, the record deal money dry up, you know. So anyway, it's high turnover.
You digress. Yes.
So this lady moved in, 30 years old with 2 kids. The wife was worried about it because she said the kids was going to be running around making noise. But it ain't the kids that's making noise. It's her that's making noise, if you know what I mean. They done seen men in the hallway, men on the elevator. She just in there hollering, making all kind of sounds. The kids know to stay in the back. They don't say nothing. They all back there crying, traumatized. They know what's happening. Feel sorry for the kids.
For the babies.
Yeah, they done figured it out. Yeah, mom in there with some more people. They in there trying to figure out how they can get a new mom and everything. Now then, your wife done finally figured out that she's a working woman. You was hoping she didn't, because you have been next door too. So stupid behind. She said that he swear he didn't mean for it to go down like it did, because he 28 years older than this woman. She 30, he 58. I never should have followed her inside when she asked me to look at her garbage disposal. Boy, don't you know that garbage disposal is a code word? Her garbage disposal really ain't the one on the sink. Hello.
What?
Hello. The garbage disposal she wanted you to check out is not the one on the sink.
Okay.
All right now. You better read between these lines, Steve. I'm not even a handyman type guy, but I showed her how to reset it. That's that little red button up under the sink at the bottom of the garbage bowl. All you gotta do is hit that. That ain't nothing. The only blessing, now listen. I showed her how to reset it. Then we started talking, and one thing led to another. See, this is where people make me sick at with these letters. We started talking, and one thing led to another.
Yeah.
Okay, dog, like what? Like y'all was talking, and then you said, it'd be a whole lot of hollering in here sometime. Mm-hmm. And then she said, well, I give him something to holler for. And then he say, like what? And then she said, go on back down there and hit that red button again. Now y'all in the flow.
Wow.
Then we started talking. One thing led to another. We ended up on the flow. The only blessing is I didn't have to pay for what I got. Oh, now it's a blessing.
Yeah.
The only blessing is I didn't have to pay for what I got. That happened a week ago. And I've decided that this woman needs to move. Oh, that's what you decided? You know, dog, you ain't really good at making decisions. I don't know. Because just right after a week, you decided this woman need to move. And how you going to pull that off? Last thing I needed for her is telling my wife that I was in her home. Well, you went over there, though, to help with the garbage disposal. I'm thinking about telling the homeowners association that she's a call girl and has strange men in our building. I'm assuming that will get her kicked out. The 12? Hell no. That ain't gonna get her kicked out to 12. Dog, you know who been living in the 12? Dog, that's the 12 now. I'm just telling you that right now.
Ooh, that pizza used to be outstanding.
That was downstairs a legitimate business. They don't even sell that no more. They trying to clean out that lobby. You can't buy that pizza down there no more.
Woo, used to be good. The margarita pizza. Woo!
You can still get it, though.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell them that she's a call girl and has strange men in our building. I'm assuming that'll get her kicked out, not other 12, homie. Would that be too low down, or should I go for it? Low down was you in there on the floor. That was low down. Bro, you can't get no more low down. You've been married 22 years. You're 28 years older than this girl. She got 2 kids somewhere running around. You in there on top of her on the floor. Now you want to know, would that be low down or should I go for it? You can't turn this woman in, because when they go up to her and say you a call girl, you on the client list.
Right. All right. Post your comments on today's Strawberry Letter at Steve Harvey FM on Instagram and Facebook, and check out the Strawberry Letter podcast.
I can't stand this letter right here. Oh,
iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. You can download it today.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.